everyone, it's Stella here and welcome in to the second episode on the Phoenix Sands world. Today I have a jam-packed episode for you all, so let's jump straight into today's episode. So to start us off today, I think the best thing is going to be getting us a whole bunch of bees, which means we're going to have to do some exploring. In last episode we went out that direction to go explore, but this time I reckon we go out this direction to go explore. I'm going to grab myself some food, I'm going to grab myself a bed, and we're going to go exploring and see what we can see. We also have a few more saplings to get ourselves, as well as a few other bits and pieces, like the dark oak that we haven't yet got, and I think there's one or two others. So we're definitely going to have to keep our eyes out for that. Now it is time to explore. Let's go head out that way, and I'll tune you guys in if we find anything fun. Have bees. We just need to wait for these guys to pop back into the hive, which hopefully should be relatively soon. There's also another couple around here, so there might be another few beehives around. But once we get these guys, we'll be able to take them back to our house and start breeding them up. Okay, so either this one has 3 bees or 1 bee. But either way, this one definitely has 2, and we can head back and start our bee collection and bee farm that is going to be done in today's episode. Yoink! These are going to be very helpful for building and future Minecrafty things. So I ended up having some audio issues, which meant that you guys didn't get to see me build up this little honey farm. But this is a honey farm on YouTube from a person called Gecko, and they have made just this micro honey farm, and it is tileable. You can go ahead and add 50 of these if you wanted. I only added 5 because I am going to be moving this farm at some stage in the future. Very simple, just a comparator, a couple of redstone dust, a dispenser, and then just a couple hoppers underneath. At the moment, it is actually going very well. We've got over a stack of honeycomb. We're going to be working on getting ourselves a walkway from our brand new house over here and all the way across and over to our temporary storage over in there. The reason being is that is going to be torn down at some stage in the future, and I want there to be a walkway along this water. Now, I have gone ahead and kind of mined out a little bit of sand, but I decided that instead of it being just at this one height, I actually wanted to add a little bit more variation. So let's go ahead and add in the walkway here, and it's going to be the exact same as this one over here. So we're just basically copying that over onto this side and expanding where this roadway is going. So out the front of this area, I've started to make this little retaining wall, and that is so any waves that come up along this river and wash along the shoreline don't take away any of the sand that we have along here. Because, you know, infrastructure is important, and we don't want waves taking out our roadway. For this little area, I do want to kind of make this as kind of realistic as possible, and we're going to be able to do something kind of similar to what we've done over there at our wheat field. Also going to add in some greenery with the use of the leaves as well, and potentially just little pops of color. We might add in maybe some like bushes and stuff along here just to give it a bit more of a green texture. Let's go ahead and finish up this area now. I do really like the flow of how this has kind of come together. It's just gone with like the way of the sand area, and I really like it. Just kind of emphasized it a bit more and cut out a few blocks here and there, but really happy with how that kind of came together. So just going to go ahead and finish up this retaining wall and get ourselves a little bit further into this build. Along the waterfront, I think I want to keep this similar design that we had over on our bridge over there. So just a very similar with the birch and then the spruce with a little lantern at the front there. And we're just going to basically do that all the way across so that we don't have any creepy deeps coming in and blowing up our area here, especially if we're walking along or doing something. Creepers are the worst mob, literally the absolute worst mob. At the moment, all of our lighting is put in, but unfortunately, with the use of a program called Mini HUD, we can tell that there is definitely some spots here. These are all good, but if I was to take out this one, yeah, these zeros mean that there is light level beyond 0 or below 0, which means that this is now officially a space where the creepers could spawn, or any other type of mob. So I'm gonna have to try and figure out another way of doing some more hidden lighting. Maybe the use of carpets, which is one of my favorite ways of actually lighting up areas. So that's probably going to be the way that we get all the way around that. So something that you guys can think about. Another thing that I kind of heard recently was using amethyst buds, which is a really cool way of doing some hidden lighting. So putting it under the moss blocks actually allows for levels lower than like 7 and stuff like that, but still gives that little bit of ambience and prevents any mobs from spawning. So at the moment we've got all this done, and we are going to go and take a little break and walk over this direction where we're going to start doing the storage room underneath, because that area over there is starting to get very full very quickly, and I really want some type of storage in this world. As someone who has a very long-term world, over 25,000 days in the Aurora Isles, I have a very big storage system over there, and having chests like this laying around everywhere makes me feel like I'm potentially gonna have some issues coming very, very, very shortly if I don't get on top of it. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I also need to get some azalea leaves just to finish off this little bit here. On the front of these, I also want to add some darker spruce wood, just because I think that that's going to sit much better in regards to these builds. Now, I do have to figure out what I'm going to put there and there, because we can't obviously put signs side by side. I wish we could, but unfortunately we can't. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with this. Okay, so just some oak logs with some spruce on top works really well. And then we can just finish off the back as well. Make sure all of this has got stuff lining on it. Okay, that's not going to work. Oak log, and then our trapdoors on the back as well, just so that we are making sure that we're maintaining that same design across the board. I like that. I think that looks quite nice. And then we're going to just repeat the same process on this side. With the shoreline now in, and also spawn proof, because I went and spammed a whole heap of torches along this area, we now have the ability to start our storage room underneath bottom layer of this house. So I'm going to go in with some oak logs. I know that I have a lot kind of hanging around in here. Hi, buddy. Oh, there is Bob. Hi, Bob. We don't particularly like you, Bob. Also, why are you attacking me in the day? Go away. Not today. Okay, there we go. Now, I do have some oak logs, and I want to go for an oak and stripped oak with a little bit of oak planks for our space in here. Now, I'm going to have to take out this and this. Oh, okay, that didn't take out the doors. Perfect. And we're going to just place it along this line here. Now, some of these blocks we might actually be able to take out from the original building. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now, for this floor, we're going to be going with a mix of stone, andesite, grey wool, and then cobbled stone, just especially in the more high traffic areas. So you can definitely see that it kind of fades out from like our very high traffic broken into like that andesite, which is a bit more noisy, then into just like our regular stone. And I like the type of feel that that gives. So we're just going to finish that out on the rest of this floor. So far, this space is going to be great for having items in here and stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and add spruce slabs across like this. And then we're going to add some spruce trapdoors along this section here to give a bit more emphasis to the roof line. Also going to be adding in some glowberries to give some more light, just making this area a little bit more lush. Now with 1.20, you have the ability to add things onto signs, and then also using the honeycomb, we can prevent ourselves from accidentally clicking it and rewriting it. So I'm going to use that little trick here and organize what I want in these different barrel sections. So to temporarily set us up in this world, we've got, as I said, the stone goods, we've got some woods here, plants, all type of mob drops, and I did have wool and that down here, but I've moved them over to here. We have some dyes and other bits and pieces in here and things like ores and decorations. The thing that is going to happen very quickly though is we're going to be having this expand because this is not going to be enough storage for this world. It simply is not. And let's jump in to a grind lapse where we are going to be collecting resources for some more building. I started laying out a bounding box for where our house is going to be. So this is going to be one of the blacksmith houses, or at least a house in which we're going to have the iron farm relocated because this thing is completely broken. I don't know why it just keeps breaking. Fixed it like 4 times now, and that one over there is not working either. So I don't know what's going on, and I'm just going to use the same design that I use in my long-term world, which I know is at least working. So instead of just mucking around with this a 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th time, I'm just going to go ahead and instead use my regular one. In saying that though, we do need a bigger space, and that is why I've kind of laid out this building here. Now this is going to come together. Well, at the moment it's just a whole bunch of light grey wool on the floor, but this allows me to kind of figure out where I want these items to go, and especially if I'm building off just a picture, I'm definitely going to want at least an idea of how big this is going to be. I think I've got all the materials as well. What we might need to stop a couple of times to get more materials, but let's go. I'm going to start off with these corners going ahead and being mud brick, and then we're going to be using some oak on the middle sections or support beams. The mud brick walls in. Now we're going to be adding in our oak logs to act as the support beam. In each corner section, we're just going to add on every other block these little divots that are going to help add a little bit more shape into this build. And then on the opposite side, we're just going to work those on each other side. You're going to want to add some sandstone and then come in with some smooth sandstone, and we're going to do that across this section. Getting into this building, we're going to be having multiple levels. So from this side, we're going to have a little entrance in here, which is going to give us access to this bottom floor or the basement. And then we're going to have an entrance here and here that is going to allow us to get up into a secondary area. Now with the staircases in, we can start working our way over to adding in a secondary level to this build. So as I'm building up this front face, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about what is going on. At this stage, we have got this little starration pattern kind of giving in some structural stability to this beautiful little window that's going to be at the front and has a small balcony at this stage. I need to do something a little bit different with that though, because it does start to blend in all together. Over the side here, we also have another little balcony that's going to be coming out. And then on this side face here, we're going to be putting in a little forge that is going to be home to a little blacksmith, making some anvils and maybe some chains and such like that. So there is going to be like a little store coming off and with like a little tenty thing coming off. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. This may or may not be death. I don't even have anything to help me with this. Okay. 2 hearts. It's fine. Probably another couple of blocks and I would have died. To give you guys an update, we have got the front face now completely in. We have this nice little simple roof. And then on the side here, I am having to work with a couple of different styles. So the roof does end quite early, and then we have like this really tall section here. And I'm not really used to working with that, but the concept art does ask for it. So I might extend that up maybe another block or so, but so far I'm kind of happy with how it's starting to come together. We haven't got anything in the back yet. The back is completely empty, and so is the side at the moment, but I will be adding in a few more details as I kind of go around and just kind of fixing up bits and pieces. It is a lot more of like jigsaw puzzle than I was expecting, but so far I'm enjoying kind of how it's coming together. It does look pretty decent, even though it is a little bit of a mix mash of blocks at the moment, but once we kind of get a little bit further on the way through it, I think it'll come together quite nicely. We've gone ahead and added this little tenty thing off the side that I was talking about a bit earlier. I just used andesite and grey wool because they are quite a similar texture. Andesite obviously allows you to have half slabs, whereas grey wool does not. Also finish up the second layer. This is what we're going with at the moment. This back very much needs a whole heap of detailing. I'm considering some type of outhouse out the back here and some type of door to go here, but I'm not 100% certain how everything is going to fit in at this stage. So back of the build is not done. All in a hermit craft in this episode, and so far this is the other side of the build. We're working with a bit of granite coming in as as well because it's got those pinkish hues through the use of the packed mud. The granite actually kind of works really well, and I'm a little bit surprised by that. Also got in this really cute little window. I'm going to put some glowstone, not some glowstone, the redstone lamps in behind that. So that is currently what we're working with. Also just added in a bit of detailing, as you may be able to see, like this little overhang over this front door. I really like that, and just like that little pop of stone brick. There's a lot of little details in this build that you may kind of notice as you kind of go around. I've got to add in the roof on this one, and I think I'm going to go for the pinkish tones that we have picked out here. Because there is a lot of pinkish tones, the roof line of this should work really well with this build. So we're going to go with that. I need to add in a nice detailing block with the roof as well. I'm not really happy with the fact that there's a lot of brick in this, just giving you guys a little bit of a sneak peek, but I'm happy with the progress so far. Now that we've gone ahead and added in all of the outside, we've got the roof in, and we've also got the sides of the roof in, we now have the ability to add our iron farm back into this space and also have our storage room and such placed in here. Now, what my thoughts are when it comes to this is we're going to have our villagers up quite high. This door is going to allow us to get to all of the storage rooms, so we're going to have a basic storage room in here with an auto sorter and auto composter, whereas the villagers will be accessible via that door. Reason being is sometimes this farm does need to be turned on and off, so let's go ahead and add in the villagers. This has got to be the most annoying instance. Oh gosh, here we go. Time to make my way across. We need Swiss Snake. Oh, this is gross. Finally, the killing mechanism is in. These hoppers are in. And then the auto sorting system is in as well. This is where all of our iron is going to end up, as well as the poppies are coming down into this one. And then simply I'm just putting them in this chest and then going to get auto composted down into this chest. So I'm still going to be obviously waiting for this to be filled up for a little bit, but that is going to give us a lot of storage. If we go past this, I might put it into like an auto lava system down the end here at some stage in the future, but this is a lot of iron. Iron Golem, of course, is now going to spend their time dying. Look what I found! Look what I found! Look what I found! Look what I found! Found the dark oak. I think we have all the saplings now. All of them. I mean, minus chorus fruit, but all the saplings. I've gone ahead and added this in as well. So we've got now a little tower on top of our little house up here. Oh, I forgot to wax the roof. Oh, I'm going to have to fix that once we get wings. At the moment, trying to get up there is going to be an absolute pain. And at the back, we've got like this little lean-to. So this is a very cute little structure at the back. It does help with making the back look a little bit more different. It was very flat. So decided to add just like this little lean-to down the bottom, and also gives a bit more color. Now, the next thing that I want to do is make a little house and a bee house for our bees over there. And I was thinking that it could be kind of nice to have a like little greenhouse. Yes, I know it is the desert, but it does get cold in the desert too. So making a little greenhouse and also a little shop off the side of it, and have a farm going whilst we also have our little greenhouse where we can go in and see all of our little bees. I think that could be kind of cute little structure just right about here. And I do know that there is some villages. I think they're roughly around there. But I honestly think with this world, because I'm not planning on doing something crazy like 1,000 by 1,000 nether perimeter like I did in my long-term world, I don't need as many iron farms as what I have in the long term. So I think we should be able to just like run off one, because the fact that I haven't got like a massive perimeter to bucket out, I think this is going to produce enough iron. Like this is just after maybe like an hour or two of this running. I really don't think I actually need a huge amount. So I'm just going to leave it as one for the moment. If we need to in the future, we can add more. But for a fairly quick early game iron farm, I'm happy with that. So I want to leave a bit of space. I'm going to create a bridge over here as well, but I also want there to be enough space to put in decorations. So at the moment, this is not being decorated. This is just obviously the structure. That will be decorated as we kind of go along. So I've gone ahead and marked out this little space here, which is going to be our roadway, and also marked out where our new bee house is going to be, which is going to incorporate our honey farm and our beeswax farm, as well as a little glass house that's going to be over here as well. So I'm going to go ahead, put in some roadways, and then we'll start on these two little builds. Let's get started on the honey house, and we're just going to work on these corners. We've got some materials here. here. We've got some spruce and some stone bricks, which we're going to put down the bottom here. And then we're going to fill in the side with some andesite, some stone, and some light grey wool. We're going to then build up our walls. Then we're just putting this front side forward a couple of blocks to give this building a little bit more shape. And over on this side, we're going to do the same. So we're just going to go 3 there and then 3 there and just place ourselves a couple of blocks at the front. Now that we've got the basics in, we have our walls and windows as well as this cute little jut out at the side here. I've also decided to mine out this section. So that is going to be leading over to a brand new bridge that is going to connect over towards the savannah to give us access over this direction. But now we get to add in our roof and our front sections as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and see how this all comes together. With a whole heap of coal, we can make a whole heap of campfires, which means we can then make a bridge over this side over to the savannah. We're just going to add some life into this bridge, and it is a little bit higher, this one. It hasn't got the little doop-de-doop, so we can get little boats onto here. Just little ones, we don't need the big ones, because the big ones are going to be coming in from the other way. With the bridge now fully being done and completed, we now are going to direct our focus over to this area. Now, with this house, I'm actually quite happy with how it turned out. Even though it's the first time that I've done this style house, and there's probably a few things that definitely could be changed, I'm not too unhappy with it. But this section here, I want to make a little stand so people can come up and grab the things that they need and continue on their way. Now, on the inside, I've gone ahead and added in a oak floor with some hives as the flooring, and I want to have both farms in here. So I want to have a honeycomb farm and a honey bottle farm, so that if we ever need honey or honey bottles, especially the 1.21 update, I'm not going to leave anything in there. Spoilers. No, I'm not. I promise. No. And then we're going to put everything over here as well. So I think this could be kind of cute place to have some like bookshelves or stuff like that. Maybe this is like the living area and then this is the farming area. So we're going to go ahead and just have a little bit of a look around and see what we can do. We're just going to put some azalea leaves on the side of this section just to kind of give that a little barrier to going into the house. I'm going to place a couple of pieces of scaffolding. Now we want to make sure there's a 2-block gap. We're going to grab a barrel and then put it on its side so the front is facing towards us. And then we're going to place a lever on the front facing downwards. We are going to grab ourselves some spruce trapdoors, and what this is going to allow us to do is place a honey block in here and here and make it look like the honey is dripping down into this section. And then this is where the bottle filling station is going to be. Here and here, I'm going to place some blocks, and once we go into the nether, I haven't been back in there yet, we're going to place 2 brewing stations here with some bottles in them, and they should be the orange variant and make it look like, these guys are filling up their honey bottles and they're sitting in a little thing here ready to go for people to purchase. Now on this side, I'm going to use some decorative pots, and we're going to quickly run and get ourselves some item frames on honeycomb, and we're just going to boop, 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 and boop, boop, boop. Going to shift punch these so they have the honeycomb on the front, and makes these kind of look like they are holding enough beeswax for people to make candles. Now this is the part that sucks. Quickly running in and preventing any spawns from happening. Nope, never mind. Oh no, we're already poisoned. Why can't I hit this guy? Excuse you. Apparently I forgot to bring shears. With the quick stop, I manually got about 2 stack. So that was not a fun time, and my armor has definitely taken a hit. Time to get myself some transport. He picked up all of these horses, and this guy's the best. At least he's the fastest, and he's a pretty good jumper as well. And I have myself a lead so that we can take them across the ocean. Temple time. Diamond. Oh, shard. Darn, it looks like we're all done. But we also have some chests to go. Gunpowder and some gold. Oh, some more string, actually. We need that. These are all so nice, but I don't have any more inventory space. More string and gunpowder. Also, again, diamond horse armor. Done. Nothing super interesting, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to place all the things in here that I don't really need. And instead, we're going to come back another time. I'm going to keep this on our Xeros map and say create waypoint. I'm going to put in need to come back. Oh, we found a cherry forest! Yay! And it does mean we can have access to the pink petals. They are so pretty, and I'm so excited to get these. Some more horses, and hopefully these guys are quicker than this boy, and they can go into retirement. Fast boy! Pretty aliens. Maybe we could use this donkey to take the materials back for us. Brilliant, Stella. I love it. Since when can't donkeys wear chests? It's not clicking into that slot. What? Let me do some research. Okay, apparently I was clicking the wrong space and I have to pick their booty? I don't want to hit you. I'm so sorry. Why are you not equipping? That is so weird. What the heck? Do you need, I'm sorry, what? Oh, at least you got a lot of spacing. Oh, okay, this is like perfect for the amount of spacing we need. You know what? Maybe this wasn't such a bad idea after all. And then we can go grab our horse. Or maybe we just take the donkey back. That could even be a smarter idea. Now, I'm not a betting woman, but I would say that over here and on the opposite hill, just over there, we might have ourselves an ancient city. The reason being is A, we're up really, really high. Both of these have got ice and snow, and I definitely feel like there is probably an ancient city under there. So we're gonna mark that on the map and come back another day. I am still trying to find my sunflowers. I've got a lot of the flowers that we are gonna need for decorative purposes. We are kind of in like this kind of mix of meadows. So I'm gonna kind of run around here and see if I can find myself this sunflower biome that we're looking for. Time to continue back to spawn. Unfortunately, we've been unsuccessful this time. Hold on a second. What is this? Oh my goodness. Okay. I am literally on like a direct route on the way home. How did I miss this? I would have seen this like, Stell's bells. We're home after a very successful mission. And I think we're going to put Donkey over here for now underneath the shelter. I thought it'd be a great idea to expand out our sheep farm, seeing as I need a bunch of wool and I didn't want to make a auto sheep farm yet. And the hungry little buggers ate all of the grass. So I had to put in another row of grass just to be safe. Now we've moved the bees into their final home and just expanded out the system a little bit. So we have barrels underneath and they will have hoppers all going into the back of them and they've all been bred up. I think there's one extra bee at this stage. I think it may be this one. Maybe not. Maybe we have the perfect amount of bees. Now with the bee farm mostly being done at this stage, I want to change our focus to this greenhouse. As you can see, I've gone ahead and taken out the bottom and also taken out all of the sandstone because that is going to be very important later on in our building. I've also added a dark oak trim and I'm basically just going to be going out the sides with our with our spruce wood and creating a section that kind of comes together at the top. I'm bad at explaining things. It's going to look good. Just trust me. Now with the sides completed, we're going to do one step up and fill in the glass. And now we have the second layer going and now we got the fourth layer going in and the next layer going in. With the top of the roof, we're going to use the architecture from our first build all the way over there and implement a similar style design on this side. But we're going to use dark oak to really emphasize the differences in the actual like build and then the top of this. I made this little pond and I want to add strawberry milk to it. I know it's not going to be a really big pond, but I'm sure strawberry milk will enjoy their little pond. Please get back in the water. Strawberry. Maybe we remove strawberry milk from it. That was not a good idea. All right, we're going to have to figure out something else. Now in this greenhouse, I want to go ahead and add us a birch tree here and another birch tree roughly on the same side like there. And then they're just going to kind of like fluff out a little bit in this direction. And down the bottom here, I want to add a bunch of little flowers and a couple of beehives. So I've gone ahead and added in a few branches. Something that I have learned from the wonderful Mr. Matt Ranger is that you should be using half slabs instead of fence posts and things like walls and such. And it actually makes a huge difference. But we're going to go ahead and get ourselves some birch and spruce leaves because they don't change their color in this biome. Apparently, I need to get myself a couple more leaves. I don't think 6 is going to cut it. Oh, darn it. Forgot that I don't have a silk touch hoe. Just like that, we've got 2 birch trees and I'm super happy with how they turned out. They are super fluffy and very, very cool, especially for the size as well. I did want to make sure that they were actually a bit truer to size than you would typically make in these types of situations. So we have a bit of a canopy over the top, which is going to work very well for us. Now, as for where the bees are going to be going, I'm going to put the hives on top of here and I've also put a campfire down below. Now, I don't know if this is going to work, so this is going to be a little bit of testing. So we'll see if I anger all the bees and I have to make a quick dash out the door. I also think I'm going to level this up one more because at the moment, this is getting a little bit tiresome and I also kind of want to put a pressure plate in here so that I can get in and out a little bit easier through these double doors. Well. We have a well. Okay, that was the worst joke on earth. But we do have a well now that is going to be supplying at least this area of the village with water. We've got some mud down the bottom and some nice mossy stone stone bricks on the sides here. And I'm actually kind of happy with how this turned out. I'm not 100% sold on the fact that there's deep slate underneath. I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's unfinished, but I also kind of like it at the same time. Tell me what your thoughts are. As for these other bits, we've got a little trough here for horses to come up and drink water if they need to. And then we've also got, oh, I keep doing that, Stell's barrels. But there's also water here in which fills these barrels, and then citizens can come over and grab some water. And then we've got like the turny lever section as well for the, well, so obviously if you turn it one way, it'll go down. If you turn it the other way, it'll go up. But I'm kind of happy with how this is starting to come together. And with that, I think that is all we have time for today's episode. It has been a jam-packed one. We are actually starting to get a little bit more progress done in this world and starting to build a couple of farms that are going to help us to get ourselves set up and have all of the materials that we're going to need for the future. But with it, guys, I really appreciate you guys hanging around to the very end of the episode. You know what to do. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.